I am your host, Danielle Mims. Welcome to Think Like a Kid, the podcast that helps parents and teachers stop guessing and start teaching the way kids actually learn. After working with hundreds of kids, I can promise you this: one-size-fits-all learning doesn't work. It's time to stop making kids fit the system and start shaping learning around the child. Each week, you'll get quick wins, creative ideas, and brain-based strategies to make learning hands-on and fun again. So whether you're in the classroom, the car, or halfway through your coffee, I am so glad you're here. Let's think like a kid. Hello. Welcome back to episode number 3. Last episode, if you missed it, we were talking about the amygdala and how to explain what's going on in your child's brain when they're in fight or flight mode. Today's going to be kind of like the next step into that, right? Because a lot of the times when we struggle with a child who's going through those big feelings or big emotions and have a louder watchdog, they might have anxiety tendencies. So they might have perfectionism tendencies. And we need to know ways and strategies in order to help them. So the whole anxiety and perfectionism, that lives in the safety system part of the brain. So when a child feels like they're getting something wrong, danger, 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 mistakes are total loss of control. And then if they're going to put an effort towards something that doesn't guarantee certainty, wow, that's a risk. I am not going to do that because I'm not going to even chance it that I'm going to fail. So these are typically high capacity kids, right? So they will even avoid starting things. There was, oh my goodness, this was a long time ago. There was a girl, she was so smart, and she would say she made a mistake on her paper. She would erase, but she would just keep doing it until there was legitimately holes in her paper. I mean, that is perfectionism. They'll fall apart over a tiny spill or a tear or a wrong answer. Oh my goodness. Burp, 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 danger, danger. Watchdog goes off. The whole brain kind of just shuts down. And the way to connect with kids is, what we want to say, I've said it too, is just, no, it's okay. Just watch. Let's just do one step together. Let's just do that, and like trying to force it to happen. And again, as we know from last episode, is that if their brain is being hijacked, nothing's going to land, nothing's going to stick. So we're going to have to wait for a calm moment and do things in a proactive way, which we all agreed we would be doing. A book that I love for this is something so simple. And every time I tell parents this, they're like, oh my goodness, I can't even wait to try. And they just love it. It's called dun, 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 and if you are on YouTube watching, it's called It Looked Like Spilt Milk. So if you wanted to buy this book, it's a board book. You can use it with old kids too. They'll love it. It's by Charles Shaw. And I love this book because it gives kids a different perspective into a mess or a mistake and doing purposeful mistakes. And that's the challenge that I'm going to have for you for this episode, is to really find opportunities to make mistakes with your kids where it's safe, where you're modeling it, where you have intentional times where you're like, okay, we're going to make a beautiful mistake out of this. And there's honestly so many books out there that can help with this. And if you have one that you're like thinking of right now, please send me a DM, because I have no budget when it comes to books. Like, I can't even control myself. Like, I love them so much. And the reason why is it's the best therapy for kids. And it gives them a way to make connections and to see themselves, to see the world, and to obviously learn new things. So this book is like a simple accident happens, right? The milk will spill. And for anxious kids, this is not just a story. This is like a new nervous system experience for them. So you can read this book with them. Here, I'll just read the first page with you. Sometimes it looked like spilt milk, but it wasn't spilt milk. And then so every single page is milk being spilt, but it's showing something else, right? And I mean, one of my kids really struggled with making mistakes, wouldn't even pick up a crayon for a long time. And I just actually, like, after reading this book, I did take milk and I just spilled it on the floor. Like, I didn't care. And sometimes when it rains, you could see,
or okay, perfect example is like the clouds in the sky. Have you ever, like, as a kid, laid down in a field and you're looking up and you're seeing the different shapes of clouds? Same kind of idea, but trying to turn it more into what a mistake can turn into and building that growth mindset. And even if something fails, we can make it better. It doesn't need to be perfect. And this takes a lot of practice. I mean, I'm doing this with my kids every single day, and they still melt down over mistakes, but their brain is growing because they know they will never get to where they want to be unless that they fail. And they know that they can continue to just make things better and better. So I know a lot of you guys loved the analogy of the watchdog. I'm going to give you another analogy. This also helped kids and my own children and me, to be quite frank, with anxiety. So we're going to talk about the smoke detectors, an alarm, and the alarm system in a house. And their job is to detect smoke, and they will start sounding the alarms, fire, fire, and everybody gets out of the house and everybody's out, and the fire department's called because the alarms are going off. They sense smoke. There's a fire, we must protect everybody. And the fire department comes in, and it turns out that the toaster just burnt some toast and it caused smoke, which caused the whole alarm system to go off. It caused panic. Everybody got out, but it actually did its job. It detected smoke, right? Same thing with anxiety, right? So we're helping kids practice mistakes in safe, supportive ways. Their alarm system might be blaring, but they need to go figure out, okay, is it just the toast that's burning or is there an actual fire here, right? And it's not going to be this easy walk in the park light switch on and off of, I have resilience all of a sudden. But all of these like micro steps of reading a book of Spelt Milk with our kids, talking about your own failures, modeling in the moment of your own mistakes, making something better out of something that was broken, them seeing that, them practicing that, that is slowly building up their resilience. It's slowly building up their courage. It's slowly building up their trust in themselves, which is their confidence. And that's what we need to do, right? All of that other big learning and whatever they had their big meltdown over and the anxiety happened, maybe it was over a worksheet. That doesn't matter right now. The only thing, and I'm here to tell you, the only thing that you need to focus on is building back their resilience and their confidence so that because perfectionism and anxiety, they don't just grow out of it, right? It keeps on getting bigger and bigger. And a whole episode that I wanted to talk to you about is exposure therapies, which I have extensive training on. And it's something that you can do with any child. It doesn't have to be this huge drastic fear. It's not about desensitizing children because that is not the goal. The goal is to help a child if something is impacting their everyday life. So if this anxiety and this perfectionism, and they're too scared to hold up a crayon or a pencil or a marker and draw a picture because it doesn't look right, that is impacting their everyday life. So we don't need to get them to go from 0 to drawing a whole self-portrait. We need to take baby steps in between so that their brain feels safe enough to say, okay, I can make mistakes. Because what's really going on is like these high capacity kids, they're like, I know exactly what I'm going to draw. I know the details. And then they're what, like 4? And then they grab a crayon and they can't do what's matching up in their brain. Of course they're going to freak out. Like they're just like, I have it in my head. I can't get it down on paper. And again, going back to that like whole phenomenon of feeling alienated and reading a simple book like this, doing fun exercises where they can fail and make mistakes, that's when we're building up that safety in their brain. Another really quick activity, I had one of my kids could not even think about wanting to draw, like did not want to color, did not want because of the whole perfectionism thing. So we actually took paint, like, that tempera paint that's really easy to wash off. And we put some paper down a little like toy slide And we painted the tires because he was really into monster trucks. I can always link that. I think I made a reel about it on Instagram, but I can link that in the show notes too. And so we painted the wheels, and he would just send the monster truck going down the slide, and it would create a really pretty art. But it was not him making the mistake. Yeah, you put a little monster truck and you have them going down the slide. And that was very eye-opening to see him willing to do that, because it was a lot easier to have a truck color than him, even though he was the one pushing it. Another really cool idea is taping markers to cars or trucks and having them be the one to do the artwork on paper, whether that's with like a marker or a crayon or a pen. Those are 2 ideas that just popped in my head, of course. But if your child does struggle with anxiety, try one of those things. Try the spilt milk, where they can see a picture within a mistake, and that really does spark their creativity, right? They're really having to use their imagination to discover what the mistake is, right? And turning it into something else, and you might see something that's completely different from them. Or trying the monster truck going down the slide with paint, or just taping a marker to a car and having them drive with that. That tells their brain, I'm not making a mistake. I'm having fun, right? And we know that time and time again, it's play is what is actually going to make the learning stick. And eventually they're going to be like, I could probably do a little bit better than this car with the marker. Like, I'll just take the marker and do it. And comparing it to a car, absolutely. But our goal is to not fix the behavior. It's to help their brain feel safe and confident enough to try new things. So thank you again for listening. I will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Think Like a Kid. If this episode gave you an idea, a reframe, or a little win, the best way to say thank you is to share it with a friend or leave a quick review. It helps more parents and teachers find these conversations, and honestly, it means the world to me. Until next time, friend, keep meeting kids where they're at and keep thinking like a kid.